subscribers! Thank you so much for watching my channel. Oh my god, I can't believe it. So this week has been my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. It's now a year since I posted my very first video.
Now, for those of you living under a rock, allow me to tell you the tale. And, oh my god, clutch your pearls, clutch your kale, clutch your balls.
This has been such a crazy year. I can't believe it. Oh my god. If you hear that, that's my dog snoring right now. This is Charlie, by the way. He was snoring, and I guess now he decided to perk up for the camera. Can I say hi? Woof. So anyway, for my 1-year anniversary sort of video, I thought I would do like an AMA, Ask Me Anything, viewer mail kind of thing. So I've been posting all over Instagram and Facebook and everywhere asking your burning questions for me. So sorry I couldn't get to all of them, but I don't know, if you guys like this, maybe I'll do another one sometime or something like that. Also, if you guys like my stuff, shameless fundraising pitch, I have a Patreon. Subscribe to my Patreon. Please. So I guess let's just jump right in. Number 1. What's the best thing that's happened to you this year? I think everybody knows what my answer to this is going to be. Obviously, doing all of our walkaway events with Blair and Brandon and everyone else and getting to meet all you guys. We did New York, we did LA, we did Chicago, and we're planning number 4. And also another amazing thing that's happened this year has been just growing my channel and meeting so many of you guys and talking to you guys, and you guys are so amazing and so supportive. It really means so much to me. This year's just been so crazy. I've done so many things that I never ever would have expected. I mean, life takes you in some crazy directions. Believe me. Number 2. What happened with you and Clifford the big red dog? I just want to hear you tell the story again. Oh boy. You have a good memory. I don't know. I posted about this on Facebook so long ago, but I'm sure most of you aren't aware, but I have a phobia of Clifford the big red dog. I was traumatized by Clifford the big red dog, and I have a very good reason, so I will tell you the tale. Okay, so when I was in kindergarten, the kindergarten teacher told us, we have a celebrity who's coming to visit us next week. Clifford the big red dog is coming here. And so we were so excited, and let me tell you, she built this shit up for weeks. We had to do arts and crafts to give to Clifford, and it was so built up. We were all so excited. We were going to meet our hero, Clifford. Oh, and we were all told, you know, you need to be on your best behavior when Clifford the big red dog comes. So finally, the big day comes. It's a class of like 25-year-olds. So we're sitting in the classroom, me and all the other kids, and all of a sudden, Clifford the big red dog pops in through the door and is like, woof woof, hiya kids. And it's just a person in a furry suit with like a big Clifford head and big Clifford paws. So he like walks in and waves his paws at us. Oh my god, it was amazing. So everyone freaked out, all the little kids, everyone runs over to Clifford to hug him. Everyone all at once, we were so excited. All of a sudden, I guess we made Clifford claustrophobic or something. All of a sudden, we hear, God damn it! Get away from me! Freeze! Back up! Get off of me! Freeze! The fuck? So, all of a sudden, Clifford takes off the fucking head, and underneath the costume is our kindergarten teacher. Not only did she decapitate Clifford, she was Clifford. She was this like 4'10" lesbian, I think. And so I guess we made her claustrophobic or something. So she has a full-on like emotional breakdown with the Clifford head in her hands, fuzzy red suit on, and just starts screaming at everyone and takes this opportunity to tell all of her 5-year-old students like what she thinks about them. So it was a mess. Everyone was crying. She stuck her big red paw in my face and was like, I know you stay up past your bedtime and you need to stop putting clay on little girls' seats because parents are complaining about you. God damn it. And just starts screaming at everyone with the fucking Clifford head in her hands. So everyone was crying. Everyone was traumatized. It was... So yeah, to this day, I still am very traumatized by fucking Clifford the big red dog. Oh, and by the way, to make my like Clifford phobia even worse, I just saw the other day they're making a live action movie of Clifford the Big Red Dog, and this is what he looks like. So yeah, don't talk to me about that fucking dog. We're not on good terms. God damn it, Clifford. See, aren't you glad you watch my channel for the very serious topical issues? I need to vape after that. This is like stressful still. Speaking of which, number 3, how's quitting smoking going? You know, it's finally going good. I'm almost at 3 weeks, I'm almost at 3 months. I was gonna say 3 weeks, God forbid. I have been using a vape, but I just switched to a low nicotine one, and I'm gonna try to move to a no nicotine one, which I think if you get a very strong menthol flavor, it helps a lot. It was really bad the first like 2-3 weeks, the first month or so. They say that it takes 3 days to get out of your system. That's bullshit. It gets 3 days, it's easy. It gets really hard at like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And there was around like a time where I fell off the wagon for a couple days and had a few cigarettes, but I haven't had any at all in weeks, so I'm doing pretty good. By the way, let me just acknowledge the fact right now that, like, I know my hair was a mess, so I know that I kind of look like Lumberjack Liberace right now. Just gonna own that. Number 4. Do you think the T should be removed from LGBT? This is a big question that I'm hearing a lot. For me, I'm very resolute in my answer. No, I don't. But it's complicated. So here's the thing. Do I think that it should have been put there in the first place? No. Sexuality is very different than gender, and I think combining these things makes it harder for the average person to understand both gay people and trans people. But the fact of the matter is, they are combined. There's nothing we're going to do about that. Like, I very much understand people's exasperation with the trans lobby, because for many gay guys, it kind of feels like a bait and switch. It's like, I just wanted to date dudes, and now I'm being told that I have to, you know, agree with 4-year-olds transitioning and drag queen story time and all these ridiculous things that have nothing to do with being gay. So it feels like a bit of a bait and switch. When you realize that you are gay and you come out, nobody tells you that you're expected to pledge a loyalty oath to this religion. The alphabet industry is a very powerful, affluent, multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, if they were only focused on gay people, openly gay people are only like 3 to 5% of the population. But everybody has a gender. So putting all of this focus on gender allows them to have a reach that goes beyond 5% of the population to 100% of the population. And something I really cannot stand to see is the animosity that the trans lobby and trans activists are creating towards transgender people. But here's the thing. Even if you removed the T, let's say it's just LGB, okay? That still wouldn't solve the root problem, which is a controlling, radical, authoritarian ideology. There are so many things that they're pushing, like the stuff where you can intentionally give someone AIDS, or Desmond is amazing, child drag queens. There's so many things they're pushing that aren't just transgender. They're simply using trans people as a means to an end to push their most radical things. But the radicalism would still exist if it were just the LGB community. That is not solving the root problem. And I think everybody has seen how sane, logical, rational trans people who question the religion, they are getting pushed out of the alphabet just like gay men have been. So I really feel very strongly that it is more important than ever for dissident, rebellious, sane LGBT people to have each other's backs. I really think we need each other more than ever. The divide isn't gay versus trans. It's liberty versus authority. Individuality versus suffocating conformity. So I'm really not interested in anything that'll pit gay people against trans people. I think if we're going to change this culture, the only way that that's going to happen is doing it together. So no, don't take the T out, but change the entire friggin' alphabet, is what I think. Next question. Oh my god. I want a 2020 sexy Mike Harlow calendar. What are the chances? 0! Nobody wants that. Trust me, nobody wants to see that. Like, gosh, thank you though. I'm happy somebody thinks that. Thank you. That's sweet. What's the biggest change you've seen in yourself as a person, not politically, since you walked away from the left? Oh, wow, that's a good question. I have so many answers for this. I'm much more skeptical. I don't believe anything. I'm the most distrusting person in the world now. I read a lot more. I honestly, aside from like fiction and stuff, at the time when I was a leftist, I really didn't read much. When I was sort of like in the thick of being a leftist, maybe around like 2011, 2012, at a certain point when all of this like social justice shit really started, at a certain point I realized within myself that like all of a sudden I was very angry about like straight white males and I was ranting about them, and it occurred, I literally, that had never entered my mind in my entire life, and all of a sudden I was very angry about that. And it never occurred to me, like, wait, that would mean my dad, that would mean my best friend, that would mean so many people. And so I think back then there were so many excuses for me. Like, you know, if something is wrong in my life, it's because of straight people, it's because of white people, it's because of whatever, I'm a victim, I'm being persecuted, whatever. Whereas now I know that if there's a problem in my life, it's my fault. I need to work harder, I need to do more, I need to do better. And I find that so empowering to know that my life is in my hands. It ain't nobody else's problem, it's on me. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I think that's so empowering to know that you are in charge of your fate, you are in control of your life, and it's up to you, basically, whether you fail or succeed. What's your favorite band? Okay, well, you said band, so I can't say David Bowie, because that would be, obviously, look at me, that would be artist of all time. So, okay, I have 3 favorite bands, I guess. You said 1, but whatever, I'm gonna do 3. Okay, so 1, The Descendants. Classic. If you guys don't know The Descendants, check them out. 2, you guys probably don't know this band. They are super unknown, and they deserve so much more recognition, but this band called The Start. Oh, they are so amazing, and they haven't released an album in like a decade, and they haven't played in New York in just as long, but I saw them live so many times when I was a teenager, and so, oh my god, they were so amazing. So check them out. And 3, I know this is gonna make me sound like a basic bitch. I stand by this answer. No Doubt. No Doubt was so good, and I can't stand Gwen Stefani solo, and her forehead doesn't move, and she's had so much work done, and the tits are out to here, and she's annoying. She's nothing without them. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. But oh my god, she was so good back then. I saw them live with Blink-182, and I saw them live at Roseland Ballroom before they closed Roseland Ballroom. They were so good. They were so good. And their last album was terrible. They came back and did like another album, and it was awful. So hopefully they'll get back together someday, but I don't know. I feel like they're kind of... It's funny, actually, all of my favorite bands then are sort of like done. That sucks. There's no good music anymore. What principle in your mind is the fundamental difference between the right and left? The most important basic idea, all hot button issues aside. Love you, Zach. You know, I think this ties into what I said before with, I really think the number one thing is personal responsibility, or individual autonomy, basically. Whereas people who aren't leftists will know, I have the power to change my fate. It's on me. I need to work hard. I need to do whatever. Whereas the left wants government to solve everything. The left wants government to wrap people in bubble wrap and sing them a lullaby and tuck them into bed at night. And I don't think the government has that power. I don't think the government can make people not be racist. I don't think the government, you can't legislate kindness. You can only have a level playing field, and I really think that that's what the role of the government should be. Favorite horror movies? That's such a tough question. I don't know. Oh my god, there's so many I love. Okay, so again, I'm going to sound like basic bitch with this answer, but one of my favorites, because I saw it when I was a kid, and this was the movie that really got me into horror, Scream. It's classic. I know, I hear you guys. It's a classic. That is my favorite franchise. I love it. Of course, I love my Chucky, and I love my Halloween. Oh my god, you guys. So I saw Child's Play 2, which is the best one. I saw Child's Play 2 when I was a little kid. I must have been like 5 years old or something. And I would carry his Chucky doll around with me everywhere I went. And he had like blood dripping from his mouth. And I would bring him everywhere I went. And that probably explains a lot. So some of my favorite horror movies, let's see. You're Next is amazing. One of the best of the decade. The House of the Devil. Ooh, Good Night Mommy. Good Night Mommy. You guys have to see Good Night Mommy. That was one of the few movies I've seen as an adult that genuinely disturbed me. Also this one called Villains. I just saw that with my friend Frank. It's more of a thriller than a horror, but I haven't had that much fun in a movie theater in so long. We were dying and gasping and laughing, and everyone else in the theater was like stone-faced. So, but you guys should definitely see Villains. It's more of a thriller, but it was amazing. Ooh, Suspiria is great. Both of them, the original and the remake, they're very different. Watch both of them. You guys should watch Better Watch Out. If you guys want a fun night, especially with the holidays coming up and stuff, because it's kind of Christmassy, watch Better Watch Out. Trust me on this. If you had to choose a movie character that closely relates to you, who are they and why? Okay, so obviously, in my delusional head, I would love to say Beatrix Kiddo. For no reason other than I love her and I want to be her when I grow up. But again, I'm delusional. So, maybe Gina from Empire Records, because it is my absolute dream in life to sing Sugar High on a rooftop with Coyote Shivers. That movie is so good. Oh my god. Because she wants to sing in a band and then she finally sings at the end. And oh my god, it's so good. I get chills when she finally sings. Though people tell me I'm more like Mark from Empire Records because he's kind of like crazy and hyper and out of his mind. So when I was in like middle school, they would call me Mark because of Empire Records. Because he's this like crazy hyperactive metalhead. Fuck, marry, kill. Justin Bieber, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Evans. This is the easiest one ever. Okay, so kill Justin Bieber because he's gross. Justin Bieber, ugh, not my type. You guys want to know what my type is? The opposite of Justin Bieber. Fuck Chris Evans because he's hot but annoying. Have you seen his political shit? Yeah. Fuck him and dump him. And marry Chris Hemsworth because he seems cool. I don't know anything negative about him. He seems to shut up about politics, so that's good. Marry Chris Hemsworth. Fuck, marry, kill. Only you, Zach. Fuck, marry, kill. Trudeau, Macron, Mayor Pete. Ew. What do you think? Okay, so Macron is the easy one. I'm going back and forth between which of the other two I kill. Ugh. If it were just personality, I would kill Trudeau. Oh god, the NSA is probably listening to this. I would metaphorically, joking, kill, but not really kill, right? Tell them. Okay, I'm sorry, but Mayor Pete is just the most unsexual person on Earth. So, kill him. Yeah, he's got like a Barbie doll crotch. Ugh, gross. Ugh. His husband, too, who looks like Hannah Gadsby. So, fuck Trudeau. Put a sock in his mouth. Put a ball gag in him. Handcuff something. Shut his ass up. Have like the zipper thing where you cover their head and there's a zipper. And definitely marry Macron because he's hot and, you know, we'll just have all the sex. Favorite kind of sandwich? So many people asked me. I got this from like 3 different people. Why? Are you just like seeing my pictures of sandwiches I make? No, I make the best sandwiches though. Okay, so my favorite one, I make the best BLT ever with bacon, avocado, arugula, tomato, and truffle mayo, which is really good. I also make a really good chicken Milanese sandwich and veal Milanese. I think my favorite sandwich though, and I make a really good one too, I must say, is a shrimp po' boy. This is the one I made. And I don't make it often because it's such a pain in the ass. It takes so long, but it's really good. Top. I knew somebody was going to ask this. For you, Dallas? Either. Not answer. I'm flexible. Next question. What is something about... Oh, you're back. Hi. What is something about yourself that not many people know? I think a lot of things. I think one that... It seems like nobody can get this through their head, but it's important to me, is I'm not necessarily ideological. It's very important to me to get the message across to people who've walked away from the left to not become what you walked away from, to not be in echo chambers and groupthink and all that. So I will never judge somebody for their political views, unless it's something like outrageous or whatever. But I want us to all get along. Other things I don't think people know. I used to be fat. I wish I had pictures of that. I need to get them from my mom because people don't believe me. Also, I used to sing in punk bands. That's another thing I think people don't know. I toured and stuff. I wasn't that great, but... Alright, this one's a two-part question, so I'll do them separately. You say you're not a conservative. Why? What's the difference for you? Good question. For me, I feel very strongly that it needs to be a balance. I think we need a healthy balance between the liberal and the conservative. I think both things are crucial. Politics should be a buffet where you sort of take the best ideas from each tray. And there are many things that I'm not really conservative on. For example, I think income inequality is an issue. I don't at all agree with leftist way of addressing it, and this is actually something that Tucker Carlson has talked a lot about. So I think he has sort of brought this issue forward amongst conservatives in a non-leftist way. That the way he frames it is that there is a disappearing middle class, and I think that's a really important issue. For me, I don't want to be expected to uphold any sort of ideology. I have no loyalty to any group or party or anything. But, it's independents who decided the last election, and I really feel like the vast, vast, vast majority of us fall somewhere in the middle. So part 2 of that was, now you registered Republican, but you also say you hate Republicans. Why? What are the things you don't like? Oh, so many things. So for those of you guys who don't know, I did a thing. I registered Republican. I ain't gonna wear no sweater vests. That's out of the question. And I ain't playing golf either. God damn it. I would have chosen to be an independent, but in my state, you lose your right to vote in a primary if you're not one party or the other. So I decided to register Republican because I feel very strongly that I think there's a real opportunity right now for the Republican Party to be what they were meant to be. And this, I guess, goes towards answering the question, too, is that I think... Look, for people like me, if you look at the Republican Party of 10 years ago, of even 5, 6, 7 years ago, there was no chance that I would have voted for them. Today, I would not vote for those people. Bush, McCain, Mitt Romney, all of those old Republican types. There's no chance that I would vote for them. And I think for people like me, we weren't discounting Republicans because they were living up to their values. We were discounting them because they weren't. If you look at the Bush administration, for example, what is the least bit conservative about anything that he did? It was the most big government, authoritarian, big spending, all of that. You would have thought that he was an authoritarian leftist, basically. There's no difference. So I think that if you look at the values that the Republican Party was founded upon, they're all really good things, but they've sold those values out for 50 years now. We've had decades and decades of them ignoring minorities in this country when they should have been embracing this live and let live attitude. Another big issue that I have, and by the way, this is a video I really want to make. I really want to make something like its own video about everything wrong with Republicans as I see it. Another issue that I have with them, though, is that when Republicans don't like Democrats' solutions to a problem, they have no solutions. For example, I hate everything that the left is talking about now with climate change and stuff. I don't agree with it, but I support environmentalism. So what are Republicans' environmental message? Nothing. So when they don't like Democrat solutions to a clear problem, they offer no solutions. Or even if you look at mass shootings and gun violence, obviously I support the Second Amendment and I don't at all agree with what Democrats are proposing. However, there's clearly a problem. There's clearly a problem with shootings that didn't exist as much at this level 20, 30, 40 years ago that is happening now. So we should be looking at what the problem is. And I think that there are so many ways to attack that problem through other means than gun control. Republicans should own that issue. Republicans should say, we are going to cut down on gun violence without touching the Second Amendment. through enforcing laws that already exist, through mental health, through so many things, through education, through law enforcement. That's a big part of it, because with all of these shooters, gun laws wouldn't have stopped any of them. They all, with every single one of them, there was every warning sign in the world. They were, with the Parkland shooter, for example, the police were at his home 45 times. 45 times, and 2 FBI reports, and nothing was done. So I really feel like it's a law enforcement problem. It's a mental health problem. And they should really own the issue instead of just pretending like there's no such thing as gun violence. But it's a recurring thing with them. So I'm sort of like rooting for Republicans, that I really want them to be better. And as I said, that's why I registered with them, because I think it's really important, especially on a local level, to not just elect Republicans, but to elect the correct Republicans. Another big issue I have with them is I really want to see the right, or Republicans, or the non-left, whoever, to take on the issue of make capitalism great again. Because there's so much bullshit in this country. There's so much bullshit of corporate welfare and monopolies and offshore bank accounts and all this bullshit, and nobody is willing to educate the general public on the difference between capitalism and corporatism. And then you wonder why all these kids are becoming socialists, because they don't even know what capitalism really is, that this is not capitalism, what we have right now. And one thing that I think and I hope that the right is starting to catch on to is that, in my opinion, one thing that liberals used to be right about, they don't give a shit about this anymore, but in the past, is I feel very strongly that we need to be just as skeptical of corporate power as we do government power. If you look at a corporation like Google, for example, they are maybe more powerful than the government is these days. If you look at the founding fathers and all that, there's so many quotes on how liberty and freedom requires constant vigilance to keep ourselves free. And in that, they were referring to the state, they were referring to government. But I really feel like corporate power needs just as much vigilance to keep ourselves free. Would you ever consider running for some sort of political position? Yes, except for all the dick pics that would come out. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, God no, hell no. That is for much smarter people than me to figure out. I am the last person who should. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. My whole thing is like, I don't know anything, you don't know anything, let's figure it out together. So, no, God no. I'm the last person who should be, please. I'm a crazy person with a camera. You get a lot of pushback, especially lately. What keeps you motivated? Have you ever thought to give up? Not on life, but stop being an activist. Every goddamn day. Yes. Yes. All the time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. This is not the happiest life. This is not the path to choose if you want to be calm and serene and happy and well-liked. People who hate me and push back against me, they always say the same thing. They've like the same 1 or 2 points that they just repeat. And one of them is, I'm doing this for attention. Which, to be honest, there's nothing that people could say about me that pisses me off more than that. Because they need that to be the case. They need that to be, oh, you're insincere, you don't really mean it. But the reason it drives me crazy so much is because, to be honest, and it's not like poor me or anything, but I feel like I honestly have paid a hefty price for speaking out. I've lost friends, relationships, family, jobs, everything you can imagine. So that's a steep price to pay for attention, which, what fucking attention do I have anyway? But what keeps me motivated is I think I've just always had a very strong sense of right and wrong, at least as I see it. And what it comes down to for me is simply, this is not right. Things that are happening now that are going on in this country, it is just not right. It is not right for little kids to be transitioning genders. It is not right to not have free speech. It is not right to live in a cultural one-party state. It is not right for the media to lie to people the way that they do. So yeah, it's not right. And I don't know, that's honestly the number one thing that motivates me. And also I feel like if I were to stop, I'd be letting a lot of people down, because here's my whole thing is I think the radical left is such a loud minority. they are a minority. It is not most people. Most people are not socialists. Most people are not communists. Most people are not radical leftists. It is the vast majority of us who aren't. So if every one of us were not afraid to speak out and let our opinions be known and speak our minds, this would all be over and done with yesterday. So that's the only way to change anything, is for everybody to just speak out and to not be afraid and to not care what names they call you. So I just feel like the toothpaste is out of the tube for me. There's no going back now, even if I wanted to. But, you know, here I am telling people to speak up and stand up and speak their mind. I mean, what would that say if I were to then back off, you know? Like, yeah, you're going to get a lot of shit, but there are worse things in life. After all the censorship... Oh, hi, Grady, love you. After all the censorship you've endured from Twitter to Facebook, where will you go if you get banned on Facebook? And 2, how can we help you overcome this and support you? Oh, don't even say that about getting banned from Facebook. Don't even put that out in the ether. Facebook has usually mostly left me alone. I just got I got a post taken down from them the other day that was literally just complaining about family issues, that extended relatives, you know, oh, I'm a fascist and I'm a Nazi, and I was complaining about that. So hopefully I won't get banned from Facebook. I don't know. I have my YouTube channel. I have Instagram. I honestly don't know. How you guys can support me mainly is just sharing my stuff and tweeting about it, especially tagging Twitter support, free Mike Harlow. Don't forget, keep tweeting it. And if you really want to support me, if you like me that much, go to my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon. Because I'm really trying to like invest more in my channel and get new equipment so my videos don't look like this. So yeah, subscribe to my Patreon, please. Love you, Grady. Why do you stay in New York City? Good question. You can live anywhere in the world, but you choose to stay in that shit show of a city. Why? Good fucking question. I don't know. I must be a masochist. I honestly have no idea. I've really been questioning that lately. I was born here. I was born in Manhattan. My parents are here. My family's here. I don't know. I've really been questioning that. I think maybe also because I haven't really found anywhere else where I would want to live. I lived in New Orleans for a month, but that really kind of got old after about a week. I hate LA with a burning bloody passion. I really want to go see Texas. I've actually never been to Texas. I have some friends there. To be honest, everyone I know who lives here, who has lived here a long time, every single one of them isn't happy and doesn't like it anymore and is sick of it. I think for a lot of us, though, we have such ties here that we don't really know where we would go. But the city is definitely not what it used to be at all. It's gone very downhill. Greg. How many volts to turn you straight? I love you, Greg. That's my friend. Don't anybody bitch at him. There's a clear answer to this. Haley Reinhart volts. She is a handsome woman. Can the LGBT community be saved from what it's become? Whew, good question. I hope so. I think I'm a fairly optimistic person, so I'm not going to say no. I think there would be no point in saying no. I mean, there'd be no point in doing any of what I'm doing if I thought that. But it's very difficult to topple an entire multi-billion-dollar industry that has such power and control over every facet of our lives that cannot be criticized. Honestly, what it's going to take is just every sane LGBT person speaking up and coming together and being loud and proud and standing up for what they believe in and not backing down to the fucking Gestapo, to the KGBT. Did you guys see they're even coming for Pete Buttigieg now? They had a whole, it was LGBT, and it was like, let's get Buttigieg to quit, and then BuzzFeed just wrote an article, he's not gay enough, and he's horrible, and they were like, oh, you wanted gay marriage, and now you have this. It's like, oh, cool, so you don't, these people are disgusting. And I think in that article, you know, I think I might do a whole video on it separately, but I think they literally said in the actual article how they do not want equality. I'm like, oh, so you're just saying the quiet part out loud now. Have you ever been in love? Yes. Once. It was an experience in the way that waterboarding is also an experience. there was one time that I was like genuinely crazy about someone. Next question. What are your goals for 2020? Glad you asked. So, in the immediate future, early 2020, my goal over the next few weeks, month, whatever, is right now we're planning the Rally for E-Speech, which is going to be a big thing. We're going to be advocating for the Internet Bill of Rights and free speech online. It's going to be in front of the Twitter headquarters in New York, and it's going to be a giant thing. We're trying to get amazing people there. It's going to be so great. So we'll have a big announcement once we figure out the date and all the details and everything. Next goal of 2020, I'm planning my production company, Red Band. My show Cigarettes and Valentines is going to be under that, and we're going to start shooting. So I've had some like meetings with investors that I've got lined up and stuff. So hoping it'll go really well. But I'm basically planning this production company / platform for entertainment, because nobody's done anything with entertainment yet. We just rely on these corporate entities that are just making the same shit by the same people, pushing the same agenda. So this is going to be a platform for films, series, documentaries, comedy specials, talk shows, everything you can imagine. Basically like an indie, subversive, punk rock Netflix. So I'm just in the stage of like trying to get investment for that and stuff. So that's huge goal for this year. And then obviously growing my channel more, meeting you guys, doing more walkaway events, hopefully. Then of course there's the election. You know, I've said I'm not, I think Trump is very flawed. I wouldn't say I'm a Trump supporter, but of course, I hope he wins. That is the message that 100% needs to be sent to Democrats. So I'm just hoping that Democrats implode even more. Oh my God, did you guys see they just did a poll of Democrats of the candidates and they included Hillary in it? And she was running at #1 ahead of all of them. Which I was thinking about, to be honest, I think in the general election, she would have a better chance at winning than Biden would. But, I mean, I think I would have a better chance at winning the general election than Biden would. I think Charlie would have a better chance at winning than Biden would. Yes, I said you. You're going to be the president. Charlie Harlow, 2024. With the energy of Jeb Bush right now. Anyway, I think that's about it. I don't want this video to be like 20 hours long, so that's probably good. Sorry I didn't get to all of your questions, but hey, I'll do another one maybe. Or maybe the next one I'll do will just be for my patrons, so join my Patreon. Tell them.
Woof.
Anyway, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel and share my stuff. Please, share my stuff, because YouTube don't do shit for me. You guys know. So, alright, do you want to say goodbye, Charlie? Say goodbye. Woof. Ah! You see how he talks to me? Ah!
Mikey Harlow.